I've got bullish news for you. We got the SEC launching a crypto task force that is headed up by crypto mom Hester Peirce. This is huge. And Donald Trump pardons Ross Ulbricht. I'll share the details and even what he had to say about his own meme coin. We finally hear from him. And the Bank of America's CEO makes some very big statements about crypto adoption. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start off with stablecoin liquidity because today we saw over 1 billion minted in Circle's USDC. I mean, insane amount of minting. My feed was full of whale alerts saying 400 million USD minted, 100 million USD minting, and a whole bunch of other numbers. But altogether, it was over 1 billion. And then what we saw is that stablecoin liquidity got moved to Coinbase. So I'll show you one transaction here, 800 million in USDC transferred after the minting to Coinbase. So as you can imagine, there's going to be some execution of trades here, some buying. And this is why we have to look at the market holistically. The charts, the fundamentals, the macro, the on-chain data, such as this, and stablecoin liquidity and much more. So really exciting. This is a very positive sign. And guys, we do have to be patient as Bitcoin is in that zone where it's about to break out. But as I said in yesterday's podcast, after the crazy weekend with the Trump meme coins and the inauguration, there's going to be some volatility and we got to let the dust settle. And then I think we're going to start to see the markets rip again if it plays out like it did in the previous cycles where later in January, things start to move and then we go ballistic in February into March. Now, something that's interesting, a lot of people are turning bearish on Ethereum. We're seeing a lot of big ETH supporters coming out and saying, oh, we're down on ETH and much more. They're just spreading a ton of FUD. Some people taking out the .eth ENS from their domain name and on their Twitter profile or X profile. So it's interesting. You're seeing some crowd capitulation here. And I believe ETH is going to run. I mean, just yesterday, I told you guys about Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial buying $47 million worth of Ethereum. And I believe staking is coming to the ETH ETF. And ETH continues to get adoption. Now, I know some of you watching and listening don't like Ethereum and you have your reasons, but at the end of the day, what matters are the charts. The charts really tell the story, and the chart shows ETH is near bottoming out, and I think it's going to rally, folks. And let's be honest, it's the second largest crypto, and it hasn't really done anything. It's underperformed, but it's still holding the number 2 spot. And I believe it's going to have its turn because we've seen the liquidity cycle through the different altcoins, XRP, Solana, and others. ETH will have its day, but it's really, really interesting. Here, attorney John Deaton highlighted what Kyle Samani, who runs a fund, who is a big time investor in ETH. He's down on ETH. And remember, he was spreading FUD about Ripple and XRP. John says, I've been in crypto for almost 9 years. I've never witnessed ETH sentiment so low. I'm not just talking about Kyle's posts alone. I keep seeing post after post of people who used to be ETH's biggest supporters moving on. And the blockchain backer, who's a great analyst, he's in agreement with me, or we're both on the same page here, saying what it shows is crowd capitulation. And the same thing was happening for XRP, and then XRP did the contrarian move. I think the same thing's going to happen here with ETH. Now, is ETH going to outperform XRP and Solana? Probably not. But to say it's not going to move, I think it's intellectually dishonest with all the factors I just listed and how liquidity moves in the market. So it's bottoming out here. And when the sentiment flips this bearish, now don't get me wrong, things can flip very bearish if there's something detrimental happening. If the whole chain went down, there's a rug pull, right? But none of those detrimental things have not happened. It's just people are just like, oh, it hasn't moved. It sucks. We're moving on. That is just sentiment based on the price. So blockchain backer and I are on the same page. I think we both agree that this thing is bottoming out. It's going to melt faces. And I think a lot of people are going to jump back in after that. Now, guys, we've been talking about we are in the final phase, the fifth wave of this bull market. And this year we're going to see the blow off top, right? And I keep harping on have a plan, a cash out plan. And here's another signal of retail returning. Yesterday, I shared with you guys Google Trends data. We talked about the meme coins frenzy. Well, look at the top apps in the App Store, specifically the iOS App Store for finance, Moonshot. That's the app that was used to buy the Trump meme coins, crypto.com, Coinbase, Robinhood. So you have the crypto apps dominating this category. And usually it's not that. Usually it's other things. So that is a sign retail is coming in. Part of it is the dumb money crowd. I didn't make that term up, guys. And we want to be on the side of smart money, buying the blood, fear, and depression, buying the dips, right? When the retail crowd is scared and they don't understand because they're not financially educated. They just come with the herd. Folks, I know these statements may cut a bit deep for some of you now entering in, but it's the truth. It's the same principle in the stock market and in crypto. You want to be buying in the lows, not the highs. Now, some of you coming in now still have some room to catch some gains because we're not at the blow off top yet. But understand, to get the maximum gains where you make significant returns, you should have been buying in January 2023, December 2022, or even earlier into 2024 when the market pulled back after the pump with the ETF news and the buy the rumor, sell the news event. So, folks, I'm sharing the data with you. I hope you understand why I'm sharing it with you, why this is significant. We're looking to take profits and walk out of this bull market with money in our pockets. So these are some of the signals we have to pay attention to. Now, guys, big news coming from Donald Trump. He kept his promise, even though it's a day later, but that doesn't matter. He has signed an executive order to pardon Ross Ulbricht. This is huge. We all know Ross's sentencing did not match his crime. They threw everything at him, and the kitchen sink included, and they gave him multiple life sentences? Ridiculous, right? So he spent some time in jail, freed a man. He was early to Bitcoin and doing stuff on Silk Road. And I'm not saying he's an angel, so please don't get me wrong. Once again, I said he served time, but his punishment did not fit the crime. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social saying, I just called the mother of Ross William Ulbricht to let him know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly, it was my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon of her son Ross. The scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern day weaponization of government against me. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Ridiculous. So I think we can agree there, regardless of if you support Donald Trump or not. And if you guys recall, back in December 2021, I interviewed Ross's mom, Lyn, and I'll put a link to that interview if you guys want to check it out. But, she's been fighting for years to try to get this sentencing reduced because, once again, this sentencing did not match the crime at all, guys. Now, guys, Donald Trump today was asked about his meme coin. Let me play a clip of what he had to say.
Benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
So there you have it, right? He knows of it. He knows what's kind of going on. He doesn't have all the details. Obviously, the man has other priorities. But as I was saying over the weekend, his kids are the ones behind this. Don Jr. and Eric Jr. and Barron, they're the ones doing this. So I don't like the fact that they launched a meme coin because I don't think a president should have that. It just opens the door for a lot of bad things to happen. And I'm hoping nothing bad happens. I'm actually hoping the Trump meme coin, Melania meme coin thing dies down. Because it shouldn't be too attached to him like that. But look, it is what it is. We can't control all of these things. And look, he's made money off of it. I think he knows he's made money off of it. And I'm sure his kids are telling him, but it's not the top priority or the top thing on his mind, of course. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is VeChain. VeChain is one of the top layer 1 enterprise blockchains out there. They are working with many corporations and enterprises globally to build Web3 applications. Some of the great attributes of the VeChain blockchain includes it's secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. They're working with with companies like Boston Consulting Group, BMW, Walmart China, Givenchy, PwC, and much more. I've been a VET token holder for years. I'm very bullish on this project. That's why I accepted them as a sponsor. So if you'd like to learn more about VeChain, go to vchain.org. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, check this news out. Incredibly bullish. So Mark Ueda has been named the acting chairman at the SEC until Paul Atkins comes into office. Well, today they announced SEC Crypto 2.0. Acting chairman Mark Ueda announces formation of new crypto task force. Commissioner Hester Peirce will lead the agency-wide effort. The Crypto Task Force is dedicated to developing a comprehensive and clear regulatory framework for crypto assets. Folks, it's a complete 180 from scumbag regulator Gary Gensler. We are in a new era for crypto, and I expect we're going to see a lot of bullish things coming out from the SEC this year. Hester Peirce, crypto mom. There's a reason we call her crypto mom, and these are things she wanted to do for a long time. But you can see Gary Gensler was standing in the way, and now they're able to launch these things. It's going to be a very bullish year, guys, and I expect they will work with Congress to pass legislation or to put together rulemaking and frameworks around that. And I believe, guys, as Paul Atkins comes in, they're going to drop non-fraud cases, and there could be faster settlements in addition to all other altcoin ETFs getting approved like XRP, Solana, and much more. But this is the bullish news of the day. My goodness, think about it. The SEC launching a crypto task force, and once again, their goal is to provide a clear regulatory framework. So many of you know I just interviewed Commissioner Hester Peirce last week. So if you didn't catch that interview, guys, make sure you watch it. Link will be in the description. We kind of touched on some of these initiatives. Now, I didn't know they were going to launch the task force, but the initiatives of what the SEC would do in 2025. So this is really, really great stuff. Now, Ripple's Stuart Alderati weighed in saying, "Thank you, Acting Chairman Ueda, for saying it. The SEC's war on crypto created confusion about what is legal and an environment hostile to innovation and conducive to fraud. Looking forward to working with the Crypto Task Force to undo the prior administration's damage." So many folks in the industry are very excited about this. Now, ETFs, guys, we got some wild news here. So Rex Osprey, they just filed for a bunch of ETFs. It includes Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, ETH, and also Bonk, Doge, and you won't believe it, Trump. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to make of it. This is wild. I don't know if these meme coin ETFs get approved. Even Eric Balchunas, ETF analyst at Bloomberg, said surreal. It's really wild that they filed for a Trump ETF, but it could be a smart move because here's why. The president's meme coin, right? If they were to approve, the SEC were to approve the president's meme coin, why would they not approve XRP and Solana? It's a bit, I think there's a bit of gamesmanship here. So, this is kind of smart. I kind of like it. I like the strategy, but I just laugh because it's so funny. These meme coins popping up as ETFs. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if they get approved, but I think we're going to have Solana and XRP ETFs this year for sure. Now, since Gary Gensler got kicked out of office, Eric Balchunas highlighted 33 crypto ETFs now currently filed with the SEC. The list doubled since Gensler left the building on Friday. Won't be surprised if it hits 50 within a week or two. So the market recognizes, hey, we got a chance here, and the flood of ETFs are coming in. And this is what I've been telling you guys. The end of regulation by enforcement, the pro-crypto government coming into office, and the promise of legislation this year will bring in tons of capital. Guys, there's been a lot of capital, a lot of companies just watching because they don't want to get sued, right? And many wealthy investors and so forth who are just watching like, hey, I don't know, I don't trust this Gensler guy. Now they're going to come in. Guys, get ready. This year is going to be wild. And I'm going to remind you, have a cash out plan. The bull market doesn't last forever. Things will get euphoric. It'll be crazy. It'll be madness. It will look like it will never end. Extreme greed will hit an all-time high. Grandma, Uber drivers, everybody's going to be telling you about crypto. That's when you're going to be looking to exit the market. If you understand the market cycles and how this thing works, then you know what to do. Now, more bullish news. Bank of America's CEO was interviewed. As you guys know, the World Economic Forum is going on in Davos, so a lot of people are getting interviewed. Let me play the full clip here for you guys as he talks about crypto adoption from a banking standpoint.
There's still 4,000 banks, so it's not like there's considering the disaggregation in this industry.
Let me ask you a separate question, and Becky's got one back in Washington, but on crypto, we just had Brian Armstrong sitting in the seat that you were in, and obviously there's a lot of excitement about crypto. The banking business, for the most part, has stayed away from crypto. Given President Trump's full-throated support for crypto, do you imagine Bank of America is going to be full on in the crypto business if we have this conversation 12 months, 24 months from now?
I'd separate out this sort of crypto versus stable assets and digital movement of money, because we already move the vast majority of our money digitally. Our consumers do, our companies do. And so the question is, what's the business practice that you have to move another type of currency? So if the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with, you will find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it, non-anonymous, transactional, verified, et cetera, because we have to, because it's just another way our customers are going to.
The other thing we were talking about was the possibility that Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies actually are a threat to the U.S. dollar. Scott Bessent's talked about needing the U.S. dollar to be super powerful.
Yeah.
Is it a threat?
I think there's a whole bunch of dynamics about all the trade and all the consumption of the U.S. consumer and all the stuff that goes on. But I think we do need a strong U.S. dollar. We need a U.S. dollar to be reserve currency. It's good for our country. But what I'm saying is, if you go down the street here and you go in and buy lunch, if you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, a debit card, Apple Pay, et cetera, this will just be another form of payment in an instantaneous cash transfer. And so I think if it becomes regulatory okay, which it wasn't before, and that's one of the issues, you'll see the banking system enter with. We have hundreds of patents on blockchain already. We know how to enter the field. When you get to the investment side and the Bitcoin stuff, that's really a separate question. That's more on the investment side. From the transactional side, I think you'll see the banking industry make moves here.
Very bullish statements, guys. The CEO of Bank of America. And what's on the table? The repeal of SOB 121, which will allow Bank of America and JP Morgan and all these banks to hold crypto directly, and it will allow them to do a lot more. So they know the deal. They're going to adopt it for payments. They're going to build products around it. They're going to custody it. They're going to offer it to all their clients, both institutional and retail. I hope you recognize what's happening here, guys. We are seeing a paradigm shift and the dominoes are falling, and game theory will play out. One player jumps first, like BlackRock, and then the rest will follow, right? The rest of the banks will follow, guys. We saw it with the ETFs and tokenization. BlackRock jumped in, launched your ETF, launched tokenization. Franklin Templeton followed, Fidelity, and all these guys. Amazing times are ahead. So this is really, really great. And speaking of banks, and I don't have a very good video clip here, but I'll read what he had to say. So I'm talking about Ron O'Hanley, the chairman and CEO of State Street. That is another bank with $4.128 trillion of asset under management. Also at Davos, asked about crypto. He says, we see digital assets very much as part of the future here. It actually could and should be beneficial to markets to the extent it should accelerate settlement periods. So digital assets and a regulatory framework would be very helpful. With crypto, the key issue for banks is they haven't been able to custody it. That's the SOB 121 issue. Up till now, they haven't been given the way where the accounting rules are applied. But to the extent that it changes, that's something we'd be interested in custodying. Of course they would. Guys, this is the new asset class. As Paul Tudor Jones said, the fastest horse in the race. And as I've been telling you for years, the markets and the economy running on blockchain, tokenized assets, your stocks, your commodities, everything tokenized, your real estate. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said it. Tokenization is the future of finance. Truly global markets running 24/7. No more opening and closing bell. No more holidays. And just additional markets are going to open up from here. You have secondary and tertiary markets. So incredible stuff. Now, we got some big news from Crypto.com, which is, of course, a crypto investing platform, app, exchange, whatever you want to call it. They have launched institutional grade exchange services in the United States. So everybody's expanding, everybody's investing and growing their business, trying to get as much market share as possible. So competition is healthy. It's very good for the consumers. So they're going to give users access to over 300 cryptocurrencies and 480 trading pairs, acting as a complement to the existing retail-focused Crypto.com app for U.S. customers. So notice, institutional, more big money, wealthy folks coming into the market. So this is pretty big. So folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Very, very bullish news, guys. Soak it in and have your plan. And we're going to ride the wave up and take our profits. And guys, if you are able to, definitely support me in the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter on Substack, 100% free. Link will be in the description. Also, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. Buy a copy for yourself. Buy a few copies for your friends and family. Help them to learn about crypto. Let them not get wrecked. Knowledge is power. And guys, if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review on Amazon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.